Hi everyone, I'm going to try and demonstrate to you the Buccal object rule, and this probably is not a perfect demonstration because I don't think necessarily all the elements are acting exactly like they would in an X-ray, but I think it gives at least somewhat of a good visual demonstration. So what we have here is we have a Buccal object. So this could be something like your zygomatic process, this little blue ball here. This could be the zygomatic process. This could be buccal cusps. This could be the external oblique ridge, something that you're going to use as something that you know is always buccal, so you can observe how it moves. Then we have the tooth, and then we have back here something that's lingual. So that could be, something like, well, I don't know. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. But so we have something that's more lingual. But what I want you to pay attention to is the buccal object and how the buccal object moves in relation to all the other objects. So if I put my flashlight in front of them here, you can see if my flashlight, I'm going to show you how I have my flashlight. So I have my flashlight like this. If I have my flashlight going straight through, all of the shadows are superimposed over each other, just like when we take a really straight on shot, when we're really perpendicular to our objects and everything is just like straight on, everything's sort of superimposed, right? Now, if I take my direction of my beam and I turn the direction of my beam to go more distal, what's jumping out in front and really shifting with the direction of my beam? The one that's shifting the most is the lollipop shape, that blue kind of circle. You see how that has, in the shadows in the back, that one has jumped out the most, and that one has moved the most distal with the direction of my beam, which is heading distal as well. Now, the one thing that we talked about in the lecture is that lingual objects move opposite, and I don't feel like that's really representing super great here. But what I do think is showing pretty good is how the buccal object is really moving with the beam. So then if we come back and we line it up perpendicular, everything's kind of superimposed, and now we're going to shift the beam mesial, and look what jumps out over here. I'm trying to get the beam so that it really highlights it all well. But look what jumps out in front. Again, it's that circular little lollipop shaped object that's buccal. So the buccal object is going to move in the direction that your beam is pointing. And one thing, and like I've said already, what's not really being represented super great here is that the lingual object goes the opposite direction. But that's not really what we can focus on. What I want you to focus on is how much the buccal object moves with the direction of the beam. So if we adjust our beam to go in a more distal fashion, the buccal object's going to lean that way. And then we know, if we know our stable buccal landmarks, and we can see which way they've moved, then we know which way our beam was moved. We know that our beam either was moved more distally or more mesially, depending on how the buccal object has moved. I hope that helps a little bit.